Hey guys, welcome back to Imperium Goddess Diaries. I've got something a little bit different today. I put on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago how I actually want to start bringing people on the show, and I just want to kind of just talk to some little bit of people out there in the real world about the shit that they've been through, about anything inspiring that they have. And I really want to touch on things like alchemy, which is things that I talk about a lot, and energetic alchemy, using the shadow self, using your darkness and fueling that in your light. So one of the people that replied to my story was my beautiful friend, Brooke. We've been friends for about 5 years now. We've known each other from way back.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And she has a really beautiful story to tell you guys. And this is kind of like for the everyday person who just doesn't think that they can get out of it. Now, a lot of the times we hear a lot of inspirational stories from here, there, and everywhere. And a lot of the times we may not even feel that we can connect with that. But what I want to do, and especially what Brooke is going to do with us today, is just go, hey, this is what I've been through. This is what I got to, and this is how I got out of it. And a lot of the times, the things that she would have been through is probably what other people have been through as well. So, Brooke, hello, welcome to the show. Just give us a little bit of a rundown about yourself, things that you want to tell us, and we'd love to hear it.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. As you would know, I do love going to the gym. I am a big gym girl. Do love getting up early in the morning. I'm a big morning person. Nearly 30, very soon.
Yes,
so
next month, hey.
No, it's in 2 weeks.
Oh, it's in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. I knew she was a Pisces, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking today a little bit about how that started, how I got out of a dark place and started running and meeting people that inspired me. And yeah.
So it was really interesting because, you know, I've been friends with Brooke for quite some time now. So I have seen a fair few versions of her. And as she's seen a fair few versions of myself, because, you know, let's face it, we're not all the same. If you are still the same, if you're never evolving, then there's nothing to be expected of you. And there's a big chance that you're going to still lose people regardless. And I did make a post about a while ago, you're going to lose people when you're evolving as well. So you're going to lose people anyway. But what I wanted to share with everyone today is the point that you got to. So you got yourself in a dark place a while ago. And I think this maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Was it 2020?
Maybe. Oh no, it was after that. It was around 2022, which was the worst.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you know, it was after a very dark, toxic relationship.
Yeah, I remember that. yeah, that was not good.
Yeah.
And you went like going into a dark place, going into where you were, and then this was after the relationship. So you went right in, and tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, I was living by myself at the time, so it didn't really help. But I basically had to pick myself back up because of that relationship that I was being cheated on. I was being gaslit. It was just toxic. And it was continuously breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together. It was also always on me. So I was always the one that was the reason why. And you start to really like hate yourself, and you start to really like go down a hole where you're blaming yourself for literally everything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like every time we were broken up, I would kind of, blame myself, and everything is my fault. And I would get into that dark hole. And I would reach out to people and be like, what are you doing? Do you want to go out drinking? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And that's where I kind of narrowed, like, I wasn't good. And I was avoiding work. The only thing I really did was go to the gym. But it was barely a workout. I avoided work. I avoided hanging out with people unless there was alcohol involved.
Yeah.
You probably would have remembered that.
Yeah.
If it was sober, I didn't want to do it.
That's quite interesting, because like I do remember that personally, but I think from, everyone else's perspective, is what did it feel like every time you were doing something sober? Or was that not really even something that was an option for you?
It was very sad, and I didn't have my mind was just elsewhere, so I couldn't be in the moment. So anything I did, like if I was hanging around with friends, I didn't want to be there because there was just other things in my mind. I was not concentrating on the moment. It was just not filling a hole for me.
Yeah, right.
I was just very absent, and I mean, I would get invited to, things during the day, but I would just try it and be like, nah, I just want to go home. I just want to be at home with my dog. I don't want to do anything right now. Yeah. Or I'd be like, can we start drinking? Like, can I go get some alcohol?
Yeah. So you kind of, so you were falling into this sort of like trap or like way of being where like alcohol was a way that you can escape, which is, I dare say, a lot of people can relate to. You know, alcohol is a way out, but it's not a way in, and it's a way out of your mind, but it's not really, because your mind still chases you afterwards. Yeah. And, you know, because I think I do remember these moments, but I also, you know, in your mind, like you kept at it for some time. And how long were you doing this for? Like how long do you think that this period of your life was for, and how bad did it actually get?
Well, it got to the stage where I think that when I snapped out of it, because it was going on for maybe 6 months to a year, maybe. The point where I wanted to snap out of it, there was one morning there where it was at night time, and I reached out to a friend, and it was a guy friend, and I was like, do you want to drink? Do you want to do this? You know, and it got to 5:00 in the morning, and I was like, I need to drive home. And my brain was fried. I was so awake. And I was driving home bawling my eyes out because I was like, I'm so depressed. And I literally didn't want to be alive. And it got to the point, like I had to talk myself out of it, but it was sad. And I got home, and, you know, my dog was waiting for me, and I was just like, I need to stop doing this. And that was kind of it for me. Like there had been times where, you know, like I'd always drive home at 4 or 5 in the morning. Obviously I shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
And I'm crying, but this time was the worst because I realized, I took a step back and I was like, this is not okay. Yeah. Like, okay, you were dying to drink. Like you really wanted to drink. You really wanted to get yourself out of that mindset at the time, but it was so temporary. And then as soon as it started wearing off, you felt worse. Yeah. So it was like, you just need to stop doing this. Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of what made me snap. And I was like, I need to start making new friends. I need to get out of this rut. This is not doing anything for me. It's not making me feel any better. It's making me feel worse. Yeah. Yeah. And so it was so like you said, it was in that moment that you were like, I'm actually scared. Yeah. To be around myself. Yeah. Because that's what alcohol does, right? You know, or substances in general. It's like such a quick high, but then it's such a steep collapse. Oh yeah. And you know that's a really scary place to be if you're feeling it, because there's been many ways that you would have been subsiding all of your emotions as well. Yeah. And tell us a little bit more about your environment. Tell us a little bit more about what you were surrounding yourself with. So I was basically, a lot of my friends were in relationships at the time or have kids. So I have a lot of male friends. So I was reaching out to just male friends because, you know, guys love drinking and, you know, partying. Yeah. So
they're down to party with a hot girl, like.
Yeah. So I was reaching out to anyone, and I realized I was like, it was sad because I looked at myself and I was like, you would not hang out with this person if you were sober. Like,
damn.
That's how bad it was. And not saying I was like sleeping with these people, but I was just really wanted someone to party with me. Yes. And I was that desperate to not be sober that I was reaching out to people that I would not normally hang out with or even talk to or even associate with. And yeah, so I forgot what the question was.
I think I asked you, what were you surrounding yourself with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it got to one night there when I was with one of my friends, and obviously I was in the country at the time, and we were waiting for something to be delivered, and go to some random's house, this old dodgy house.
So sketchy. So sketchy.
And there was just dogs tied up everywhere on chains. It was dirty. We were sitting out the back with no light. And it was like, like those old like kick-on tables.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of winter, I was freezing. And I sat there for an hour, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm going home. So, yeah, while I was sitting there, I realized I was like, this is like something you would do when you're like 14, 15, like go to parties and stuff. But it was like 4 just full grown men sitting at this table, not even speaking.
In a den. Oh, the energy is so low.
I was like, yeah, so that's when I was like, this is not you. You're so much better than this.
Yeah. Well, it's, like they have a place, but it's not, it's not a safe environment. Like obviously apart from that fact that you're a woman, but just for your own sanity and for your own self. But you mentioned before that you let go of some friendships because of the state of being that you were in. And I think, what were those friendships offering to you at the time?
Well, these were actually female friends, but so these were friendships that I held on to since high school.
Okay.
So as me and you have discussed before, we held on to a lot of friendships because it was such a long period of time. You know, you try so hard to make it work.
Yeah.
But I actually let go of those friendships when I stopped drinking, and I started actually wanting to spend weekends being sober and being healthy.
Okay.
So, so those are the friendships that I let go of because they started to, run me into the ground because I wanted to be that boring person, and I wanted to get up early and do a run or go to the beach, and, like I didn't want to be hungover. And like I was just at a party, and someone was like, how was your morning run? You're up before me. Gosh, every morning you're up at the gym. So it was just really toxic, negative energy. So I that
really
was
bringing you back down to, I feel like shit about it because I didn't get up for a run, so I'm going to make her feel like shit about it. And I dare say a lot of people have felt that way before when they're trying to make positive changes.
Yeah.
But in like an environment where it's just hard to blossom, basically.
Yeah. So I just got to the point where I was like, these people are not bringing any positive energy into my life.
Yeah. So with the moment that you were driving home at 5 a.m. and you were like, I don't want to be here, the moment that you were at a crack den in the middle of the country.
Crack den. I don't do crack.
Actually, not, but I'm just really I'm painting the best picture. And then moments that you were at events with people and you were trying to make good changes, and you felt like you were being tied down. If you put those moments all together, what's the shift that you felt? Where's that pivotal, like, I'm fucking doing this and I'm letting everything else go. I'm noticing what's going to be the best for me. Yeah. Because those are all very, it's a low vibrational environments for you. Where did you start finding the courage and the inspiration within to go, hey, I actually want to make a change?
Well, my change started when, obviously, I come across Megarun, and I was really sad one night, and I was at home by myself, and I wanted to go out drinking again, and I snapped myself out of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go drive to the Gold Coast by myself and do a run. And I had been following these people on Instagram for a while because. When I told myself I was going to snap myself out of it, I unfollowed people that drink, go out, go clubbing. I unfollowed all of those people.
That's so awesome.
Because I was like, if I'm seeing that, that's what's going to be in my head. Like, I need to start following people that inspire me, that, are doing good in their life.
And would you say that, like, you got FOMO in the morning when you looked at people's like events? Yeah.
See, I don't get that anymore. But
Yeah,
back then I would have.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And I was so petrified, let me tell you. I was so nervous and scared, and I rocked up to the Gold Coast by myself, mind you, 1.5-hour drive. And I rocked up to the Gold Coast.
She lives in like Ipswich area, by the way. So if you're from Queensland, you know it's a little bit other side.
Yeah. And I just ripped the Band-Aid off. Hey, I was so scared. Had so much caffeine in me. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. And so that morning, I met so many friendly people that, I don't know if you've been to a run club before, but everyone's just so like energetic and
very,
friendly,
very high vibe,
and just beautiful people. And I just met, some beautiful people that just like, they don't always just talk about running, but they're just happy to be there and just be around friends.
Yeah.
And we literally, like, I didn't even really run. I barely ran, but we run past 2 girls hungover from the night before. Like, mind you,
walking past the run club doing the walk of shame. Damn.
Yeah, it's funny.
The difference in worlds.
Yeah.
That could have been you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So after my run, I felt so good about myself because I was like, a lot of the people I know wouldn't even be awake right now. And I've just done a run. Like, I only run like 3K, but I was like, I just done a half walk run and I'm around all these people. We're at the beach. I feel so good about myself.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's when I kind of was just, you know what, this is what's for me. This is what's actually going to bring me out of this. I need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because I was more happy after I did that run than I was after a night out drinking.
Like, yeah, nice.
And I actually felt good. So that's kind of when I did the switch, and I was just like, I need to, anyone that's not going to make me feel good about what makes me feel good, I need to get rid of them in my life.
I love that. Yeah. Anyone's not going to support you and feeling good.
Yeah.
And so that initial push to go to the run club was scary.
So scary. I have so much anxiety as it is.
Was the initial... Sorry, my dog's coming.
I thought that was Nathan.
Excuse me.
Just opens the door.
Out, please. Good boy.
Are you a human?
It's a human. As we were. So you mentioned that it was hard to start off doing it. Was it hard to continue?
Yes. So there was some nights there where I thought about, like, I reached out to so many people in the past about heading out drinking, and people would try and message me and get me to come out.
Oh, so it's like the same people who used to were hitting you up.
Yeah. And I would say to them, I'm like, no, I'm doing a mega run in the morning. And they're like,
wow, that's nice.
I got to get up at 4 in the morning. And they're like, what? That's so gay. I'm like, no, it's not. It's great.
Imagine that. It's so gay, like just doing what you want to do. Out, please.
Yeah.
My dog is very, very keen on this conversation. So, yeah.
So much negative feedback from those people because I wanted to do that. But I just didn't let that get me down, because I knew deep down that they just felt guilty because they weren't doing it.
And so you were aware of that pretty early on.
Yeah.
You're aware very, very soon enough that every single thing that they said to you, bringing you down.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm not going to let them bring me down.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, because you're just trying to make yourself feel better.
Yeah. But it's amazing that you actually pick that up so quickly instead of letting the outside influence you, because a lot of people will go back into old habits because they're missing out on the fun, or they don't want to look lame, or they want to fit in with everybody. And that, so when you break it down to all those kind of 3 factors, how much of that really mattered to you?
After I started feeling good about myself, I actually didn't care.
Yeah.
And I had people actually reply to my stories, like different people I've never even spoken to before. Like, they follow me, or I've followed them, and I've never spoken to them before. Yeah. And they were like, oh my God, this is so good. I want to do this. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I'm inspiring people to do this.
Yes.
So I was like, this is the kind of people I need to be hanging around.
Yeah. And
Not,
it's about like you're making really like small changes in you that ripples out to a lot of other people. There is like it's amazing the amount of things that you can do by inspiring like one little person, because it just filters out into so many other aspects of other people's lives as well.
Yeah.
And so the transition phase between both, was there like moments of lapse?
No, not really.
Or were you gun-ho, you're like, you know what, I'm done with this and I'm doing this?
Yeah. Well, there would be some occasions where I couldn't go on a run on a Sunday morning because there'd be like a birthday or an event or something like that. But there was a good consistent, like probably 4 or 5 months where I went every single Sunday. And I would go to events if there was something on the Saturday night, I would go there and not drink. Like,
nice.
I went to family events and I'd have 2 drinks and then I'd leave and go home. And my mum was like, she's going on a run in the morning. She's got to go home. She's going home now.
That's good that she supported you in that.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Who did you have that supported you?
Definitely my family. You. A few friends from like the gym and stuff like that. I even got some friends running with me that they never would have thought they would have done. So
that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful community feeling.
The people that never supported me, if they stopped reaching out to me, I just stopped reaching out to them, and they're basically in the past.
So have you brought anyone in from your past, or are they all still there?
They're still there.
And they still doing the same thing?
Yeah, I've unfollowed them all, like on all social media and everything like that. I don't reach out to them. They don't reach out to me. Yeah, I don't. Unless they're going to reach out to me, I'm not going to put my effort in.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And do you feel as though that the changes that you've made within yourself, so this was what time frame was this? End of 2022? You started doing more running?
Yeah, it was 2022 was probably the year where I was consistently running.
Yeah.
Going to the gym 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I'd run once a week.
Yeah.
And we would do the run every Sunday morning, and then I'd hang out with them for the day. So I made so many new friends and just like really positive people.
Yeah.
Really good people to be around. A lot of them didn't even drink at all, but they didn't frown upon it if you did.
Yeah.
Like they didn't. Yeah.
It's amazing how you can go from one space where they're so judgmental on the things that you do, and then you move into another space and they're not judgmental about the things that you do.
Yeah.
So you can tell the type of people that you were surrounding yourself with were not overly aligned with themselves and not self-aware.
Yeah.
But they're also like, a different level of emotional intelligence, something that, projecting always, a lot of the times when people project on us, it's never about us.
Yeah.
It's never about what we've said and done. It's about how they feel about the things that we've said and done.
Yeah.
That's obviously not to say that you wouldn't go around hurting other people intentionally, but it's also like, if you're wanting to make positive change within yourself and that triggers someone, it's never in any way about you.
Yeah.
So, it just goes to show that when you shift into a different type of world where you're making better decisions for you, you shift into a world where people are constantly at the level of, I want to make better decisions for myself. Yeah. And you feel more welcomed in.
Yeah.
You walked into that environment coming from a place where you were feeling really low about yourself and making decisions that weren't for your highest good, but you moved into that, you were on your own, but these people welcomed you with open arms.
Yeah.
And you felt welcome.
Yeah.
And that's such an amazing thing to experience. Like, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
I'm not alone in this, and I'm supported in this.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a lot of the times people maybe don't realize is that if you do make a shift and if you do switch something within you, there is going to be a group of individuals or people in the same space that are going, hey, I'm here. I can help you. Or
it's wild to
you don't even need to like ask them for help.
Yeah.
But you just get what you need out of them, and because they're there to support, because we are obviously, humans are very social creatures and we love community. People, as much as people say they'll be on their own, community is a massive thing. But sometimes you don't even need to talk about things to feel inspired by a group of people or by a space that you're in.
Yeah.
People who are like runners and people who train a lot generally have a lot of high energy because you're releasing beautiful hormones.
And they hang out with the same sort of people.
And you hang out with the same sort of people. Yeah. Like, I don't really hang out with anybody that parties. You know, like it's very like rare for me to want to hang out with people who party.
Yeah.
And you know, like yourself, I'll definitely love going to a music festival because I just love live music.
Yeah.
I love enjoying like the live music and the beautiful things about it. But it's that party stage. I think my biggest party stage was just COVID.
Yeah.
I think that was mine.
Same.
But COVID was different. we were just a holiday for 2.5 years.
Probably not the biggest, but it did drag on for a while.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the most consistent.
Because there was nothing else to do.
Because there's nothing else to do. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's those moments that you go, fuck, like I'm deciding to make these choices.
Yeah.
Everything is a choice.
Yeah.
Every single thing is a choice. And, you know, it's your choice how to react to things. It's your choice how to do it. It's your choice to get out of it or your choice to stay in it, basically. And you literally made that leap. And so when you were to say, if you were to look back and you look at Brooke circa 2022 and you look at Brooke right now, you know, what would you say the difference between those two girls are internally?
So much. I mean, back then I wasn't even really a positive person. Every little like bad thing that would happen to me, I would just hate the whole world. But now I just, completely, I'm just refreshed, basically.
Yeah. Well, you've always been beautiful to me, but you're definitely more elevated, beautiful, fresh, beautiful now.
So much more positive. Like I find silver lining in literally everything now.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Love that.
We've spoken about that before too.
Yeah, we have.
Like, well, and we also said to ourselves, you know, like everything that happens to us is because of us. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't. I mean, I used to put a lot of the blame on everything that happened to me to everybody else, but really everything is on yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
If you're down and you're in a hole and you need to get out of it, no one else is going to pick you up and get you up. You've got to do it yourself. Yeah. And it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard, but you've got to make those choices and you have to know I'm doing this. I'm going to start making these decisions because being in a low vibrational state and blaming other people is never going to get out of the way. But would you say that when you look at little Brooke or Brooke circa 2022 and the feeling that you had, have you ever used that as inspiration to keep going?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Like you look at each level of yourself, you're like, I can be a better version this time.
Yeah, well, there's sometimes where I feel I actually had this discussion the other week. I looked at old photos and I was like, oh my God, I was so fit there because I was obviously running heaps. And I don't run as much now, but I was running heaps at the time because I was in a very dark place. I was like very fit because, you know, like I wanted to get out and, you know, keep my running to make me feel good. But then I look back to where that started before I did that. And I was like, actually, I've come such a long way, like so far. And I think, you know what, I actually am doing really good. Like, like I'm never going to get back to that point again. Yeah. But if I ever feel like, you know, I'm not doing good, or if I ever feel like, you know, like, oh my God, I haven't been to the gym 5 times this week. Like, I'm like, hang on a minute. You never even used to go to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, look at you now. Like, so I do use that a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good that you can use yourself as that inspiration too, because a lot of the times we can look back on ourselves and go, oh, fuck, like that's so embarrassing. I don't want to relate to that person. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be associated with that part of me. But that is a part of us for a reason. Yeah. You know, we have a lower, darker shadow that we've experienced and we still have within us that lives there, and it's a part of our growth. Yeah. It's a part of the reason why you are who you are now. Yeah. You know, had you have not been that version of yourself, would you be this version of yourself? Yeah. You know, it's like honestly going down to the deepest, darkest parts of yourself or going to the deepest, darkest parts of anything and seeing the light and rising from it. That's true alchemy in its finest, that it's like working with the shadow, working with you. And I think that when people can hear a story like that and go, I actually can do it, But if I was to ask you, you know, if you're watching this and if you're, you know, girl or guy, whatever, and you're in a place where you are surrounded by people who only support you when you're drinking, if you're just looking out for like the next kind of like substance event that you can go to, and you're just unhappy because, let's face it, you all are, what would you say to them? What would you say to these people? What's like a piece of advice that you could be like giving them?
Well, I would always say that, you know, it's temporary. You can't do this for the rest of your life. And yeah, like alcohol will make you feel good for a short amount of time, but it's not going to always be there, and it will wear off. And, you know, like, there is one point that you're obviously not happy, and, you know, you need to get to that point where you're like, okay, I need to get myself out of this. There is something that I need to do. If it's, you know, unfollowing people on Instagram, because you see it every day, you're scrolling every day, start following people that actually inspire you. Start hanging out with people that inspire you, you know, hang out with people that want to go to the gym, do a run, not people that want to go drink at the pub every afternoon after work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll basically say that, you know, there's always a way out. This is not forever. But yeah, you just need to make that switch, and as scary as it is, it's possible.
It is.
It's definitely possible.
I love that what you said. You're literally tuning your digital algorithm and tuning your physical algorithm to a more healthier, better way of living. If you're surrounding yourself with the good things, and you'll eventually find your way out. And I love that. That's and you've come a long way, and I'm so proud of you. And I've watched it, and I've loved it, and I'm really like glad that I could, you know, we could share this with other people, because, you know, a lot of people do run to drinking, and they do run to substances and think they just can't get their way out. But to be honest with you, if I could jump in with a little bit of a tip, if there's anyone who's telling you that the good choices that you are making are boring, if you are not fun because you don't drink, these are not your friends, and they never ever will be. And you're only convenient and fun when you are drinking. So, you know, just see how much they're going to call you when you have done a bunch of runs or you have achieved something. You know, how many times they're going to call you. So there's a place for people like that, but as you grow and you evolve and you start to awaken more into yourself, into your body, become in better alignment, the world is more beautiful now. You'll find more silver linings, and you'll find more people that will support that.
100%.
Yay. Oh, thank you for being on the show. My first interview. So excited. This has been amazing. And look, I'm going to put Brooke's Instagram down if you guys want to follow her fitness journey, because she does post amazing fitness videos, and it's so inspiring. Daily. She's always posting like really cool workouts and stuff, and she's just got a beautiful way of doing it. And she's got a really down to earth, relatable way of doing it. It doesn't make you, like, when you watch a video, it doesn't make you feel like you're less than her or you're not as fit as her, but she just makes it seem so beautiful and relatable and easy to follow as well. So give her a follow. I'll put her.
It's really nice.
It does. It's true. I'll put her Instagram in the bio, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.